a gamer, a puzzler, a thinker. She didn't take it easy on Marley, so she didn't let her win. She taught Marley she's gonna play it, and she taught Marley to be a great thinker, a great game player, and to be an independent girl just like her great grandma. I miss her terribly already. Every holiday and birthday won't be the same without her, but most of all, I'm simply gonna miss stopping by, chatting, and playing games.
As I said, we are going to have a mic that I'm going to pass here to those who would desire to share. And I'm going to begin by stepping over here to Terry because he said he had a few thoughts that he would like to share.
Thank you, everybody, for coming, being a part of my mom's life. I may repeat some things, but I have a list of things as I sat down at my desk and thought about her, and I wanted to put them on my computer so I would never forget. She liked trying new recipes. Most I didn't like, but her chicken chili was the greatest. I remember she lived with us for 14 years, and I remember her being so excited to take care of Marley on Mondays, making sure everything was perfect. I remember looking out of my office, I work from home, and her sitting on the deck overlooking the lake reading her Nook. I remember watching her and Krista talk and laugh while the kids played in the water. I know that she made the things that were important to me priorities for her. When she moved into the apartments, and now, I miss just walking downstairs and having a nightly conversation about whatever happened during the day. I'm not sure how we're going to replace the trays and trays and trays of Christmas cookies she made for everyone. Like Jackie, I remember her making Romagret at Christmas so everyone could experience a little bit of Norway. When my boys were little, I remember them telling me they wanted to go see Grandma. They would read books, play games, and it was not babysitting, it was visiting. Everybody, I don't know if everybody, but my mother made jelly. It seems she was always making some kind of rhubarb jello jelly to have in the freezer that everyone just liked. If you could find a pie-filling jello combination you thought would be good, she could make jelly from it. Sorry. Another thing is, I had to listen to her ask me what I thought about Todd's team's chances for the year, and how proud she was of him at his successes in coaching. Then Greg started coaching as well, so I had to know how the teams were doing and which one I thought would win. I finally surprised her this year by actually knowing something about it. I talked to Todd and Greg. And I'm sorry, Jeff, but Mom loves sports. I know she thought the world of you and your family as well. Mom cared deeply about the other senior citizens of our community. At first, it was through her work at senior dining, making sure there was more to it than just getting fed. Games, stories, she arranged day trips. Then it was a senior center, going almost every Wednesday to have coffee and play games. She loved games, they said that. She was always up for a game of Rummikub, dominoes, Uno, hand and foot, or learning a new game one of the kids had gotten. The game was important, but the interaction with the players seemed more important. They played one game where they had to put things on her nose if you got something wrong or lied, and she had this long thing out in front of her nose. It's funny. She was always concerned about her extended family, working on family history and reunions with her cousins. She couldn't have asked for anyone better to do her eulogy than Jackie. That was just a tremendous thing. She taught me that in real life, there is no such thing as step whatevers, half whatevers. Once someone is part of your family, they are the same as everyone else. She loved attending the grandchildren, great-grandchildren's activities. Grandparents' Day, 14 different years for grandkids and great-grandkids. Elementary, middle school, and high school concerts. The parades just to see the DC or Hector bands, and I remember she used to go and look for the Holdingford bands. And I know she wanted to go to Holdingford football games when one of you two were a cheerleader. She'd go to the plays and musicals, not once, but every performance. She was our fixer and crafter. If one of the boys would get a hole in their pants, they needed to go to get those to Grandma to be fixed. No one else could do it. She made quilts and gave them away. Mine has been to Colorado, Germany, Afghanistan twice, and Iraq. She has a stock of baby blankets she crocheted. Most of the children in our close family have a blanket made by her. She always stayed in contact with her brothers and sisters. She called her one remaining sister Gertrude every afternoon. She loved her nieces like they were her own children. Sometimes I had to remember that they aren't my sisters. A call, gift, card from any of them would lighten her day up. And she loved sports. Oh, she loved sports. She had original season tickets to the Vikings. She took us to at least one Twins game every year. And like Dan said, normally a doubleheader so we could leave early from the second game and beat the traffic. She attended all my high school football, basketball, and baseball games when she could. She loved the Lynx and Lindsay Whalen. She tolerated the Timberwolves and was even starting to like hockey. Thank God for FSN and HDTV. She was at the game when Jim Marshall ran the wrong way in San Francisco. I have to say that I love my mother very much. And I am extremely proud to be her son. I had the pleasure of her living with us for many years, and it was a blessing for my entire family. Never a chore or curse. Thank you for being my mom.
Thank you, Terry. Terry enlightened us, every one of you has enlightened us a little bit more about what Elaine has meant to you. As I said, we want to provide an opportunity if there are others who want to share a story with us or a memory that they would like to share or a thought of encouragement. Is there anybody else who would like to do that?
Terry stole my material.
He stole your material? You don't have anything to add, Dan?
He took it all.
Okay. You've been sharing a lot. Absolutely, Sue.
Just something on the lighter side. She was still in the apartments, but I went over there one day, and my hair has got enough natural curl. It does whatever it wants, and I wanted my bangs straight today. They're curling. But I went over there, and I got them the way I wanted, and they were straight. And she looks at me, "What are you trying to do, be like Michelle Obama?" And that was right after Michelle had gotten her bangs cut, so she still had her sense of humor.
It was a good sense of humor. Someone else like to share a thought or memory? I don't want to leave anybody out if they would like to. Carol?
Nothing is for parents.
No, that's fine.
Okay, you all heard how my mom was such a card game and loved to play games and stuff, but what you haven't heard is I remember when my girls were little and they were playing Connect 4, and I don't know if it was Lauren or Katie, they won. Where did that come from? And she was out for blood. They were like 6, and she was not going to let them beat them again. So when Krista talked about she didn't just do things for these kids, it was, she taught them and she expected them to be at full performance. And I was blessed to have her as my home ec teacher and to have her across the hall when I was like a senior. And she did spend every noon hour outside the hall to my locker. She would not let me put in sleeves for sewing until I had them in 8th grade. She taught me how to sew when I was probably in 3rd grade, but I could not put in sleeves until she actually taught me in class. I'm like, why not? My grandmother actually taught me how to knit and crochet because Mom didn't have quite enough patience for that. But like people have said, one of the most things that I'm the most proud of my mom was that she went to college. She went to college at a time that most people had an 8th grade education. She moved away from home to get a high school education. My mother was why we all get to go to college and why we can have the jobs that we have, and we just take it for granted. And it really, for her, it wasn't taken for granted. Done.
Thanks, Carol. If you want to make Carol's day, ask her how the twins did.
I think it's fun with a fan.
She's not as avid a fan as her mother was, and so she would try to help her mother understand what the twins were doing. So, anyone else as we share? Anybody else like to do that? I'm going to ask Bradley if he will then come to the platform. He's going to share a medley of songs with us, and that he has prepared, and that was part of his tribute today as well.